you doing? Welcome back to the Rusha and Jaban show. We're minusing Rusha today. Just me with you for a quick debrief and decompress for the WSL return to the weekend. That and a couple of other things I want to talk about, including body shaming and racism in football. I just need to get it all out. Please jump in the comments if you want to have a discussion about this, a healthy discussion. Please keep the abuse to a minimum, please. And like and subscribe. We're on a mission to 20,000 subscribers, baby. 20k, and then we're on the push to the Euros. So please, if you haven't already subscribed, do so right now. I'll be forever grateful. Thank you very much. Okay, so international break. Interesting, wasn't it? I mean, Rue and I have had a conversation about the Lionesses. I think that's exactly what they needed as they push towards the Euros to go and reclaim that glory. Reclaim what is theirs currently. Is that the right way of putting it? Anyway, we will discuss internationals later on in the week. I guess with the WSL coming back, there's a number of talking points. The first one being Chelsea dropping points to Brighton, but still, looking rosy at the top of the WSL. The other major talking point is Naomi Girma. She made her debut for the Blues at the weekend and went off with a calf injury, which is a massive shame. A massive shame for Naomi Girma. Just reading some articles about her over the weekend. Some people saying how wise beyond her years she is, how she always has been that way. The most expensive player in the world, you know, that $1 million defender that we keep hearing about. It's a shame to see her come to the league and then suffer an injury right away. Fingers crossed it's nothing too bad for her, because she is a player you want to see flourish. Not that it's important, right? But how beautiful is she? Honestly, she's just gorgeous. She's got like the most perfect face and that smile. It's like the winning smile. She's got the X factor. I think absolutely stunning. Like we say, Chelsea dropping points, but when you look at the table, they've got 41 points at the top of the WSL. Trying to close that gap between them is Manchester United on 36 points, who managed a win at the weekend as well over Leicester. There is an interesting discussion, talking point going around about Manchester United's Geyse at the moment. I want to come to that in just a second. But firstly, fair play to Mark Skinner and I think in the women at Manchester United, because we know what are from the outside noise that perhaps there are some things going on at the club and the women might not feel in an ideal situation, possibly might not feel supported. There's a lot of change going on at Manchester United, but the club are on this push for them to win the WSL. And I think when you look at the investment that's going on around Manchester United, their noisy neighbours Manchester City, the money that they've spent, the talent, the squad that they've got, and the fact that Manchester United are on this run with Mark Skinner, when there was some question marks over him over the last season as well, I think full credit to them. They're sitting rosy in that Champions League position, and they are starting to look like a squad that can do some damage, and their results have shown that this year. I didn't doubt that they would have lost the game over the weekend, but they did what they have to do. They move forward. Grace Clinton's becoming my new favourite person. They've obviously got a good squad in there. I love it when Ella Toone is part of that team and in that starting 11. They have so much talent, but considering the players that they have lost, I mean, we're going back over old ground here. I feel like now there is that togetherness in the team and they're really gelling and coming together. 4th of May is the Derby game, right? So looking ahead to May is an interesting one for Manchester United, but we'll get to that later on. Let's talk about Geyse, shall we? The Brazilian international. She came on in the 84th minute of the game against league leaders Chelsea, but she took to social media on Instagram on Sunday after the win over Leicester to share her thoughts on loneliness. She's been accused, Manchester United have been accused by Geyse's agent of trying to loan Geyse out to clubs in the US while she attended her brother's funeral. Now, very, very sad news had come out that her brother had passed away. I feel like Manchester United, God love them, they've been so much heartache in that dressing room with family members over the last little while, Ella Toone included in that. Geyse's brother passed away and she missed 4 matches across January and February to go home. She was granted that compassionate leave, and it's now the agent saying that in that time they were trying to loan her out to other clubs in America, which does not sound good. It does not sound good whatsoever. That has to be handled so well. This is a player who's lost a family member. She's lost a sibling. You have to rally and make sure in those moments that people are protected, their mental well-being especially, not feeling not loved and feeling that you're trying to get rid of them. So if that is the case, that is wrong. You know, I think that has to be definitely handled better. Just going to our social media comments, she says, every day seems heavier and the simple fact of being there becomes a burden. Staying in a place where we don't feel happy is agonising and a lonely feeling, which is really sad. The environment for which should be welcoming becomes a field of discomfort where inner peace is difficult to find. When we're not in tune with surrounding us, the world around us loses its colour and loses its energy. Manchester United told the BBC that we continue to support Geyse in her well-being and continue to look for options which suit all parties. When you are in that situation, Rue's been there before, where you're not feeling valued or feeling loved, it can be very, very difficult. That is football. It's the brutal nature of the beast. On top of that, if you've lost a loved one, I can't imagine that pain. You know, sometimes people go to work, you know, go back to work to take their mind off things, and if you've not got the support and you're feeling like you're not loved, then I can only sympathise with Geyse in that situation. And I hope they find the right outcome for her as well. Arsenal, let's talk about them, shall we? Because Jamie Ahern, the old husband, went to the game last night and he texted me. I was just sorting out the kids and getting them into bed, and he was like, end-to-end stuff. And then I looked at what was happening in the game and I was like, oh, Arsenal, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Chelsea are dropping points this weekend and you're losing to West Ham. Come on. But Arsenal find a way to win. That's what they've done in this game yesterday. Bit of a cracker, 4-3. But the fact that at one stage it was 3-1 is pretty incredible. Fair play to West Ham for managing a performance like that, because it's been tough for them of late. But Arsenal finding their way back into it, finding their way to win, and Chloe Kelly helping them on that journey as well. And touching on the international break, you know, the fact that she wasn't even part of that Lionesses squad against Spain. She is already like, I will be at the Euros Arena. You won't be not thinking about me. I'm going to be in that squad. I'm going to be doing big moments and big games. And Chloe Kelly helped them on the way to that yesterday for Arsenal. So in terms of the table, Arsenal's still third. I was reading an interview by somebody who was saying that they've got to believe that they can chase Chelsea still. And the fact that there's, I can't count, what is that, 9 points between them? 41, 8 points between them. It's 8 points, isn't it? I just don't see Chelsea dropping that many points. I mean, even getting a draw at the weekend, I'm still like, Brighton have so much quality. You know, Brighton, we know that. Frank Kirby back on the pitch as well. We know that they have so much to give and they've got star quality in that squad. And Vicky Losada to make it 2-2 is an excellent point for Brighton. I just don't see how they drop any more points moving forward. I really don't. I just think they're too strong. And with Naomi Girma suffering what looks like this calf injury, no details as to how long she's going to be out for. Hopefully it is just a little knock and it won't be anything too serious. I just don't see how Chelsea drop off from here. Do we agree on that? Can we all just stick a fiver on the fact that Chelsea might win the WSL now, or will win the WSL right now, or is it too soon to say? However, the way Manchester United are sitting there in 36 points and on a nice run and got good momentum, you just never know. You just never know. What are the fixtures, by the way? Rue and I are going to have to do a watch along soon. Oh, midweek games. Hello. Chelsea, Leicester this midweek. West Ham, Man City on Wednesday. And then Friday night, oh, Everton v Arsenal. Liverpool against Manchester United. Interesting indeed. Also, Aston Villa. Like, what's going on at Villa? They appoint the new manager. It's just not happened since Carla Ward's left. You know, they were the best of the rest that season. It's just not happened. I mean, they can't seem to find whatever it is to gel that team. You know, well done to Everton, by the way. They needed that result. Very, very good for them for the Evertonians. And actually, there was that story going around at the weekend that perhaps Everton will be moving to Goodison Park, that they'll be getting their home games there because the men are moving to Bramley-Moore Dock. So that's good positive steps for Everton. They're up to 8th in the table. That's brilliant. Fair play to them. Aston Villa in 11th. That's crazy. They were like maybe the highest spends in the summer, right? That is absolutely crazy. Crystal Palace, Liverpool, both managers losing their jobs there. Going into the weekend's fixture, they played each other. It was Liverpool who came out on top. Whiteley's put her name into the hat as the full-time manager. She's got the interim role. And that was a good start for her as well. One issue I just wanted to have it out before I go, because I feel that I'm lucky in a way that I get to have a platform to talk about things that could be sometimes difficult to discuss, or some people don't want to hear about, or some people don't want to think about it. But I think it's important that we do have these conversations. Reason why I feel that this is fitting here is because of Bunny Shaw and the racist and misogynistic abuse that she received, which led her to miss a game for Manchester City recently because she wanted to protect her well-being. Absolute fair play to her for that. She's back, she's scoring goals. It looks like she's shaking the whole thing off. The misogynistic abuse I can completely relate to. I've had it face-to-face many a time. I get it online. I'm just trying to block all that noise out and not let it go in. But the racist abuse I cannot relate to. I cannot know that feeling. But when players talk about it, I think it's important that we listen. And as what would be called as white privilege, I sit here and I'm going to try and see it from the side of somebody who has been oppressed and maybe had a hard time or been racially abused. Reason I bring this up is because in the Championship there are two clubs who met a month ago, Preston North End and Burnley. Burnley has a player called Hannibal Mabry, who's a talented young man, and Osmajic, who plays for Preston North End, who's also an excellent player. But you go back a month ago, both of them met in the Championship, and Hannibal is seen having a moment with Osmajic behind him. You'll see this on your TikTok, you'll see it on your timeline. Something said to Hannibal, and just as it's said, the camera kind of moves and the player goes, Osmajic goes behind Hannibal's head and he says something to him. Hannibal's smiling and the smile instantly leaves his face. His hands go up, he's in shock. He goes straight to the referee and it looks like he says, stop the game, stop the game. And at that point, it's believed that Hannibal has reported racism from Osmajic from Preston North End. So it's a current ongoing investigation. It's been looked into at the moment. However, both teams met in the FA Cup at the weekend. A very heated game. Burnley manager Scott Parker didn't bring Hannibal into the starting lineup. He left him out to protect him from the firing line in order for his well-being to be protected in this situation. Like we say, it's an ongoing investigation. Osmajic played. He's shaking the hands of the players, or goes to shake the hands of the Burnley players before the game, and nobody shakes his hand. Now, instantly that starts to trend. It's going everywhere. I'm having a look online, and it feels like the Burnley players are being called unprofessional in this situation. I think that was such a solid stand with their player, who's been left out to be protected. You know, even though it's an ongoing situation, he's been left out to be protected by his manager. He probably could have started that game. And I get both sides of that. But also, this is a moment where teammates have come together and go, we need to trust our guy in this moment. If you look at what happened in that situation, if you look back to the footage that day, it's very clear that something has been said to make Hannibal in that moment go and report it. He's done all the right things, all the things that you're being told to do when you hear of racism in football. As a player, as a fan, everybody's told to report it there and then, and he does. Now, it's completely alleged at this moment, so it's a very tricky one to go around. But I want us to open to our mind the possibility, if that did happen, why wouldn't those players stand with their man? Why would they not shake the hands of Osmajic if he said something like that to a player? You know, why say that they're unprofessional? Shaking hands is all about respect. I wouldn't shake anybody's hand if I've not got respect for them. So I can completely understand why they've gone, we're not going to shake his hand at the moment. We will play this game. We're here. We've turned up. We want to win this game for the fans. We want to win it for Hannibal. want to go to the next round of the competition, which sadly didn't happen for Burnley in this situation. And just to add fuel to the fire, Osmajic scored, and he goes over to the Burnley fans and he's gone, all that kind of stuff. It's like, stop fueling the fire. If there is an instance of alleged racism here, chill, stop winding people up. And one thing I will say is that aggravating players is part of Osmajic's game. We've seen it before. We saw that he bet, was it Beck? He bet in the Championship back in October. I want to say that happened. And he got an 8-game ban for biting him. An 8-game ban. So it's part of the housery. The housery still continues. Yet I feel the public opinion is that, you know, it's an ongoing situation. So we can't say too much, which is true. But it feels like it's automatically on the side of somebody who gets to still play the game and who scored the goal, and that's good. He's a good player, you know, very good. You know, he can leave it all out there on the pitch. But what about the poor lad who's said to be racially abused? You know, I just find it. We need to be more open-minded and have these discussions more. You know, there's more to it. There's far more to it, and I feel when you sit here in a position of being white and not understanding what it's like to be racially abused, try and put yourself in their shoes, and that's what I'm trying to do in this situation. And at the end of it all, I don't feel Mabry's been supported at all, you know, because all of these outside, you know, maybe neutral fans are calling players and his team disrespectful and unprofessional for not shaking Osmajic's hand, who may have racially abused Mabry. Come on. So when Farah Williams had mentioned about Bunny Shaw missing that game, she thinks it would be more powerful for all of the players to come together and not travel to that game and stick together as a team. I think that was a very good point she made. And then a few weeks later, we see it in this FA Cup game. Yes, it's in the men's game, but I think the point still stands. You're together as a team and you will do it. You will win together, you'll lose together, and you will stand against moments like that together, because that's how you're going to see change. And if we don't do it, we don't discuss it, it's never going to go anywhere. Like we say, it's an ongoing case. Got to protect all areas in this. But you can let me know if you understand your thoughts in this. You can jump in the comments. You can let me know everything that we have just discussed. Please keep it clean. Don't have to go and abusing everyone in every comment that you see. I know most of you don't, because you're lovely, lovely people. But like, subscribe, leave a comment, and Rue and I will be back later on in the week. Bye-bye.